Yo guys, what's going on, and welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today for the penultimate episode and the penultimate race of season 1 here today, part 20 for the Brazilian Grand Prix. If you guys missed the last episode for the USA Grand Prix, then watch the race, guys. It was a critical race in this championship. Then watch the race, guys, by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of the screen, because there was a new champion crowned in that race. So go check out who it is before coming back to this one. Now for this weekend, as you saw on the screen, we've got quite a bit of rain on the cards. Qualifying is going to be completely wet, and the race is going to be a dry to wet race. Also, in terms of R&D as well, surprisingly, Red Bull and Mercedes have overtaken us this race, and they're really pushing on development. So we need to respond, and we need to put some upgrades on in this episode, and that's exactly what I plan on doing towards the end once we finish this race. Now, for Brazil, I started off practice, and I tried my best at 108% AI once again, and straight away, it was way too hard. Literally, the AI were just really strong at 108, so I went all the way down to 105, and I was having a little bit more joy, and things were going a little bit better. My pace was, more or less there, and coming in the practice, once we did our qualifying run, I was pretty much second, I think a 10th off Verstappen, so it was pretty damn close between the three big teams, of course, but yeah, overall 105 seemed about the right balance. Now, the good news for me is that in the wet, the AI are a little bit slower in the wet, so even though it's 105, I've got one on the race tomorrow in terms of the difficulty, but until we get to the race, we've got qualifying to get through first, and if the session does indeed stay wet all the way through, we might have a great chance today to really get a good result and actually have a decent qualifying for once. So we're going to see how we get on and see how the session progresses. There is going to be a bit of a transition and a bit of an improvement in the weather as the session goes on. So we're going to kick things off with the full wet tyres, and you're going to see a bit of an improvement over the sessions. But I think it's going to probably stay wet all the way through. Now, in terms of qualifying, I feel confident. I do like Brazil, and I think also we've got a pretty decent package. I think even though it's an 105 AI, I do feel quite comfortable around here. Unlike other tracks, like recently I've struggled a bit. USA was quite a tricky one. I was locking up a lot around there, whereas at Brazil, I'm actually quite alright, to be fair. So I feel confident. Also, I feel confident in the wet as well, which is quite good. And the car's working nicely in Q1. This was my first run and my first time lap, and it was actually a really good lap, to be fair. I was, just making sure I made no mistakes, kept it nice and smooth, and didn't have any scary major moments. And that's exactly what I got. It's a pretty standard lap time, but good enough to go P2 behind Sebastian Vettel there, and set a good enough benchmark that will see us go into Q2 without any major drama. So overall, a good start to qualifying, and you can see there Sebastian was setting the pace at the time, but then others did improve elsewhere. Both of the Mercedes and also Max Verstappen improved, and Lucas Weber only P7 there. Sergio Perez P6, very good result from him in the Renault. But overall, we go through into Q2 in P5. Now, speaking of Q2, there's only a minute 10 left on the clock, and the session was full wet all the way through. I was the first driver to gamble on the Inters, and a couple others tried after me, but I was the first one to hit the track on these tyres, and I'm pretty much hoping that the track will come to me towards the end of the lap, and the track should improve. So it's all about getting through the first part of the lap and not having any major drama. Straight away, sector 1, we are down a little bit on Devon Butler there, who's currently quickest in the Mercedes. But I think now through sector 2, just when the track starts to dry a little bit more, there's a lot more grip up for grabs, and I think we'll find a lot more performance through here. So straight away through the double rights, over the hill, and just trying to make no mistakes once again, just trying to keep it nice and smooth as we go down towards the hairpin. We'll lock up on the front right there, but nothing major as we now go down the left, down the hill, bit of understeer kicking in mid-corner, but overall okay as we pick up the traction, and now into the next kind of long right hairpin here, trying to take the nice wide entry and really focus on your exit and get the traction down there. Nice bit of smooth traction on the exit there, no major wheel spin as we go down the hill, and now we're actually doing a little bit better now as we go purple through the middle sector, and quite a big improvement there. And with about literally 5 seconds to go here, we're going to go up the hill and try and complete the lap going through sector 3, and it's pretty much flat out to the line now, so it's all about wherever your setup is and the straight line speed. I went for quite an aero heavy setup because I knew the race was going to be partly wet, partly dry, but the qualifying was going to be wet, so I went for a bit more aero than I normally would. In terms of Q2 though, we went through P1, very good result for us, and Sebastian Vettel just scraped through in P10 in the other Ferrari there, so overall good news. And others did improve on the instance, but I was number 1 in Q2. But now we're going to jump into Q3, and this was my one and only and best lap of the session. Now, I did go for another lap later on, and it wasn't with the same tyre, but first of all, can see the lap times being set there by Devon Butler at the moment as a benchmark, as a reference point, and now Lewis Hamilton setting the pace. So far though, a good tidy sector 1 from us as we now go in towards sector 2. We're a 10th up so far as we go towards turn 4. All about focusing on your exit here, using the curb on the right hand side as Lucas Weber now sets the pace in the Red Bull. Flat out through 5 and now into 6 and 7, this kind of double apex right which goes up the hill and up to the highest point of the entire racetrack besides the pit straight in the middle sector, and now into these kind of tight twisty hairpins, and it's all about that aerodynamic on the car, letting the car grip up and really find the pace as we are actually starting to catch up to Carlos Sainz, I believe, in the McLaren. Hopefully he doesn't get in our way too bad as we now go through the second hairpin here, or the second right hand hairpin, getting a nice bit of traction once again there on the exit, 0 wheel spin, and nice and smooth down the hill once again as we now get on the brakes for the last brake zone as we're 2.5 tenths up here, and Sainz still in front of us, but luckily he doesn't get in our way, and they're actually going to get a nice tone, a nice bit of slipstream up the hill. Then he eventually just pulls out of the way just in time as we go flat out now to the line, using the overtake ERS to really maximise the ERS deployment on the bottom left there, and also max out the top end speed as we go P1.
That's the fastest lap so far. Well done.
Really big final sector there. We found about 6/10 of a second. It was absolutely ridiculous. And I tried to go out right at the end of the session. I was literally the last car to go out and cross the checkered flag. And I tried my luck on the slicks, but the track needed literally one more lap. 30 seconds more, 1 more minute, so we could just have a bit more grip, because in the first sector I lost 7/10. And then over the rest of the lap, I didn't really lose much more time. The gap kind of stayed at 1.3, 1.4 for the rest of the lap. But we wasn't going to improve on the slicks. Even though it was very close, the Inter was still the way to go. And we actually got pole very easily. One of our rare pole positions this season. I think we've only had pole once this year. I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe once, maybe twice. I really don't know. But pole's been very hard for me to achieve. And, you could say it's down to the wet conditions because, the AI are not as quick in the wet. So we do get a rare pole, but the race is going to start dry. And we know how we tend to struggle in the dry conditions, especially at the start of the race. With that being said, though, let's jump into it and let's see how we get on. It's time for round 20 for the Brazilian Grand Prix.
It's been a great qualifying session for you. Are you going to carry that momentum into the race? How does a car perform in these conditions? Is it an advantage or a disadvantage? Appreciate your time.
Where there's a will, well, there's a way. And nowhere has that fact been better demonstrated over the years than here at Interlagos. Remember Senna winning while fighting a gearbox that was jammed in 6th? 5 Drivers' Championship deciders in a row between 2005 and 2009. And of course, the passionate Brazilian fans packing the grandstands to capacity every year. And they're not about to stop now. Interlagos, always a very special race here in Brazil. It's a 2.7 mile circuit with 9 lefts and 6 rights for a total of 15 corners. The fastest lap today should have an average speed of around 135 miles per hour, if of course the weather stays dry until the end of the Grand Prix. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. So, let's briefly discuss Lewis Hamilton. What a season they've had. A well-deserved championship victory, and the pressure now surely off, with the title already in the bag.
I agree, it's been a truly impressive season, but championship or no, I don't think they'll be gently cruising around to the finish line. In fact, with points no longer a concern, there's a lot less to risk, so we may even see a more aggressive approach.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Martinez lines up on pole position and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Weber, Vettel, Sergio Perez and Butler, Hamilton, Leclerc, Sainz and Roman Grosjean. Raikkonen, Magnussen, George Russell and Norris, Albon, Kubica, Lance Stroll and Antonio Giovinazzi. Ricciardo and Daniel Kvyat completes the grid, and with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Right, here we are then on the grid for the Brazilian Grand Prix, starting from pole position, a very rare pole position for us this season. The question is, can we try and convert the pole into a race win? It's going to be a tricky one. I think it's going to be a very tough challenge, and you know what the AI are like at the start of the race. I've struggled a lot recently on my first stint, and I've also struggled as well long term in terms of tyre wear, so the strategy is going to be key. And there's a lot of options on the table here because it's going to be a dry to wet race, and what I've gone for is a soft to hard. I was thinking medium, but looking at the icons in the top right, it kind of depends when the rain arrives. When it gets nearer to the time when I come in from my pit stop, my first stop of the race that is, I'll ask on the radio and see where the rain is, and then I might change it to mediums depending on if it's 5, 10, 15 minutes away. But the hard tyre I'm kind of leaning towards because it can pretty much go to the end of the race and it can go on forever. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. That might change. In terms of fuel, we're running 1 lap extra fuel, and yeah, we're starting the race on the soft. We do have a free choice tyre. We could start on whatever tyre we want, but I'm going to try and be aggressive and push on with the hard tyre early on and try and use it to really pull away and establish a gap. So with that being said, let's jump into it and let's see how we get on. But it is now time for round 20 for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Right, here we go. The 5 red lights come on here at Interlagos. Lights out and away we go. Not the best start, but Verstappen gets a fantastic launch off the line. He's going to get the jump on us. Weber as well around the outside. Both of the Red Bulls getting a fantastic start in this race. And we have to concede the position to Verstappen here early on. I think that one's gone. We're going to have to just try and use the slipstream. Lucas Weber behind trying to get past. Let's see if we can try and compete early on in this race and try and stick with Verstappen for a change and not actually drop away and fall off the pace. I need to adapt to the dry weather as well, as I'm used to the wet conditions from qualifying, so this might take a minute or two. I am running higher aero than usual, so my straight line speed might be down a little bit because I've got one eye on the wet weather. So let's see if this plays out okay, but let's try and stay within range of Verstappen and maybe try and get the run up the hill and get him on the pit straight, hopefully. But we need to...
That start was okay, now stay alert for threats around you.
We need to do better than this. Admittedly, I've struggled with starts all season long. I've had a very poor record in terms of getting good starts, so no surprise that I've gone backwards, to be honest. But here we go then, towards the final kind of brake zone, and now onto the hill. Verstappen did get good traction there, so he's going to have a good enough gap for now, but hopefully we can just stay in the slipstream and stay within range, and hopefully once DRS comes around, we can try and re-overtake him, hopefully. But lap 1 draws to a close, and I'd say so far so good. Into lap 3, Verstappen setting the pace. Personal best from me. DRS is now enabled, but we are not going to get DRS on that first DRS zone as we pick up our first track extension of the race. Weber's on the back of me here, and he's got DRS. It's going to be a very easy move for him. I'm giving him the squeeze, but no way through. That Red Bull is quick on the straight. Whatever upgrades they've brought, they've really improved the engine. At the minute, though, it's not looking good for us. I'm very, very slow on the straights. So I'm kind of hoping the rain arrives. In hindsight, I wish I'd taken a bit of front wing off at the start of the race on the grid, but it is what it is. We're going to just push on now and hope to keep going and hope it doesn't affect us too badly. Well, now Sebastian's behind me. He's got DRS on me, so this could get interesting. Luckily, I've got DRS on Weber here, so I can try and stick with him. I'm not going to return the favour just yet, I don't think. I'm just going to try and sit behind and see if I can follow him, see if he's got pace to drag us back up to Verstappen. I'm just managing to hold on to Weber's DRS here, but he's starting to pull away a little bit. The Mercedes are also getting a move on now, starting to catch up again. It seems like Ferrari doesn't have race pace.
You'll be on the hards.
Also, I asked on the radio just a moment ago to see where the rain was, and no sign of rain just yet is what Jeff said to me. So because of that, we're going to go to the hards. I'm going to get overtaken here by 7. There's nothing I can do about it. Literally nothing I can do, so I'm just going to let him go. I've got no pace whatsoever. Literally, the Ferrari has got no race pace again, and it really frustrates me now because I've got no answer. I just keep going backwards. All I can do is hope I stay in the race long enough that when the rain arrives, it will come and swim back in my favour.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes.
Okay, there we go then. That's the message we've been waiting for. That's, I'm guesstimating around 15 laps, you know, a minute a lap, give or take. So we are going to commit to the hard tyre. We're going to come in probably next lap. So we're going to stick to our strategy. We're going to be in trouble here. The Mercedes of Hamilton has got so much more speed than me. We're going to have to go defensive. I've literally got no straight line speed.
We're coming in this lap.
I'm going to try and hold the inside line on Lewis here, but no way through. But we're going to switch back underneath at 2. Oh man, I've really got no pace. What is wrong with my car, honestly? Ah, and there's another track extension there. Let's just pit in this lap and go over and done with. Right then, here we go. Turning the engine down as we're going to come into the pit lane for our first stop. Get it all slowed down. There we go. That's a good entry. Right, we're going to go into the hard tyres. Get a little turn of front wing, a little bit less front wing up, just to have a little bit more speed.
This position puts us 3 places off our predictions, 3 places down from our objective finishing position. Exit,
there we go.
Exit now.
Pretty okay stop, 2.7. Not the best, not the worst. Yellow flag at turn 1 though. Looks like George Russell or Kubica slowing down here.
We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
There you go. George Russell's just pulled over, so he retires. And we've done our pit stop, so job done. Seems like once again no safety car VSC is going to come from it. So let's get up to speed. And let's try and switch on these hard tyres. Hopefully the reduce of front wing isn't going to affect us too badly for the corners. But now we wait for the rain pretty much, because I can stay on these tyres forever and not have any issues. Well then, here we go. We're going to make a move on Kubica. Alex Albon in front of him. We're going to go to the outside. This could be risky.
We advise moving to mix 2. Fuel to mix 2.
Around the outside. Very close. There's a Mercedes leaving the pit exit. So let's get up to speed. Let's try and get the move on Albon. That's Hamilton actually. So we've managed to undercut Lewis. Albon with a huge squeeze, but we're going to get past and just about make the move. Lucas Weber in front. He's on soft tyres, so looks like the AR might be going aggressive. I'm going conservative. I'm going long, so hopefully that pays off. Vettel's coming as well. Just realised he's just up the road. So let's see how this one pans out. It's going to be quite interesting. Let's try and pull away now if we can, though. We've got quite a few more cars in the pit lane here, including Devin Butler. Let's see where he rejoins, and can we get to stay in front of him as well? I think we are. There he is, even in the pit lane now. He's going to have a tighter line. It's going to be close. It's going to be a drag race with Devin Butler here. Around the outside. Any grip? Not much. Devin's just going to stay in front. A bit of contact there. Light contact as we tap the nose. But yeah, we're on the hard tyres, and Lewis is now behind us. So we're going to see a big pace difference now between these guys and myself as I'm going long. These guys are going aggressive. So it's all about staying in the race here and trying to have a decent pace on the hard tyre. But Lewis is going to pass me now pretty shortly. Pretty straightforward for him, pretty easily, so I'm not going to hold him up too much. I just hope this hard tyre does go the distance and gets me to the rain period. Otherwise, I'm going to be regretting this decision big time. Here we go, Lewis is going to pass me. I've got no pace at all, so it should be a fairly straightforward pass for the Mercedes. And the newly crowned 6-time world champion, Sebastian, set the pace, which is good. There goes Lewis, simple pass. Not going to fight it, and there we go, down to P6. Our pace is terrible, it really is. Okay then, we're going to do some more defending as Perez is on the back of me now, in the Renault. Really just have no pace at all. Here comes Perez, I'm going to cover the inside, but he's going to pass me easily. Even the Renault is breezing past on the straight. I've got no comment. I really have no comment.
We're expecting some rain soon. Expect the first drops in the next few minutes.
Right, that's going to be interesting. I'm expecting the AI to pit in pretty much this lap for medium tyres. So let's see how this one pans out. It could be interesting.
Sebastian's in for his stop.
Here we go then. Seb pits in, so I'm guessing a few others marked as well. Perez comes in as well, so there we go. He's going to release us into clean air. And the rain should be here any minute, so this could be interesting.
Okay, gap ahead is 9.7 seconds.
So there's Seb on mediums. He's behind us. He's currently got the point for the fastest lap. Surprisingly, no Mercedes or Red Bulls come in, so I wonder what they're playing at. Okay, the rain is here and it's starting to fall. Red Bull and Mercedes are still not pit yet. Are they staying out for Inters? If so, it's going to ruin mine and Sebastian's race completely. Surely they can't stand those tyres much longer, surely. But the rain is really coming down here. I'm going to pit in this lap.
Okay, we can take you this lap. A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Oh no, the team are calling me in for Inters. That's the sign. That's when you know it's intermediates time. Oh no, the top four have got it right. They've stayed out and they're going to reap the benefits from it. Disaster. Absolute disaster. The track is horrible. The track is really bad. It's flashback to Hockenheim. It's got wet within a lap. Oh dear. It's all done, boys. Oh no. No, 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 no. That's the Constructors' Championship gone right there. Come on.
Sebastian is in the pits.
What a disaster, honestly. I can't describe how furious I am. Into the pit lane. Ricciardo's glitched out. Not sure what happened there, but I can't describe like the frustration at the minute. Come on, boys.
Exit now. You'll be racing as you leave the pits.
Let me go. Oh my god. I've got literally nothing to say. I'm furious. Terrible. What a horrible race. Worst race of the season.
See these tyres through to the end now.
I need a safety car, which is not going to happen, so great. Somehow we've fallen into the midfield pack. Horrible. What a horrible race. 105 AI and it's still incredibly difficult. And the strategy was just horrid. I've got nothing to say. Wow. Right, let's get to work. Let's try and recover these positions and get these places back straight away. Getting the run of Ricciardo here, but he's going to come back at me on the second phase on the straight, so we're going to have to turn up the engine here to respond once again. We've got a huge toll on Kimi Raikkonen here, and I'm kind of boxed in. That Renault can really go on the straights though, I've got to say. Around the outside, Danny Rick though. Inside for turn 2. There we go. We're going to get the traction.
That brings you up a place.
We're going to try and power past Kimi as well. These conditions favour me and suit me, so let's use them. We've still got 10 laps to go, so 7 seconds to Grosjean is the gap. Let's go hunt him down. I am multiple seconds a lap quicker than anybody else. I've pulled out 5 seconds of Raikkonen on this lap alone, and I've caught up to Grosjean already, and I'm much quicker than the leaders. I'm driving in anger, and I'm driving very quick, but the AI are so slow in the wet. It's like the balance is off. Like how can you select the difficulty going into a weekend and be so far off the pace in the dry, yet so OP in the wet? It baffles me. It baffles me. Anyway, here is a move on Grosjean. We've got so much more pace. It's going to be a very quick move, and dare I say, we could probably catch someone else if we get ahead down here. Let's take a wide line, which will bring us back into play for the hairpin. Not quite a move just yet. Hopefully we go on the outside maybe here. If not, we'll get the traction. Just trying to get past this Haas. Vettel's up the road. Down the inside. That's a terrible move from me. Really poor move. But we're going to take it anyway. Back end coming around the brakes. But we're up to P6. Sebastian's 11.5 up the road. 8 laps to go. Let's go after him. At the minute I'm about 2 seconds a lap quicker than Sebastian. 2.5 seconds quicker a lap. No joke. So we should catch him probably by the end of the race, but apparently he might draw up before the race ends. So
okay, the gap behind is 7.2 seconds.
That's not the information I want, mate. I've got to be honest. I'm looking forward, not behind. Okay, look at the mini map, and we've got 3.5 laps to go. I think P4 could be possible, getting past Vettel and the Mercedes in front. But that's about it, I think. Even then, we're not catching as much as we once were, as the tyres start to get older, and I'm having to save ERS as well. Finally, we've made it. We've caught up to Sebastian. And that Mercedes, I think it's Devon Butler. I mean, I'd probably guess it's him, as Lewis normally tends to outperform him. But we're finally here. Let's try and close in. We've got 2 laps to go. 2 laps to get past 2 cars. I think we can do this. Let's try and get past my teammate first of all. And make no mistakes. Hopefully he can pass Butler as well, because he is actually catching him and he's faster than the Mercedes. So for the constructors, it'd be ideal if we could get past at least one Mercedes. Here we go. Good exit. Nice slipstream. Although our straight line speed is pretty piss poor, so we're going to have to try and get him elsewhere. Maybe out of turn 4 possibly. There we go. Power down, we're going to try and go to the outside, but Seb just cuts off the door there. I don't lose too much time because I want to catch up to Butler here. I'm having to concentrate so much. No team orders. Power down. Still blocked in behind, can't pass him. Come on. It's got to be now, out of here.
Let's turn up the ERS deployment and burn some of this energy.
Yep, there we go. Slip up the inside there. Better traction. Now let's chase after Devon here. 1 lap to go. And try and make it a semi-positive race.
This is your final lap of the race.
Or not. Seb's going to try and ruin it for me. I mean, we are fighting for the run-up position, but there's no competition. I'm not 2 seconds a lap fast, so just let me go and try and get that Mercedes for the benefit of the Constructors' Championship. Come on, let's get a move on. We're gaining on Devon here. It's probably going to be in the exact same place we passed Sebastian, and it's about holding it to the line, to be honest.
Less than a lap of fuel now. The tank is empty.
Verstappen wins in Interlagos. Here we go. Out the final corner. Power down. We're going to try and slip down the inside. Keep it flat. There we go. Job done. And it's going to be P4 for us in what has been a miserable Brazilian Grand Prix. Really poor race.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. What do you think it was, Hans, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
Right, so here we have the final race results from the Brazilian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen wins in Interlagos. I believe his first win of the season. Lewis Hamilton, P2. Lucas Weber, P3. And that is your podium. We come home P4 in the end. Devon Butler, P5. Sebastian Vettel, P6. And he brings them the fastest lap and the extra point. Romain Grosjean, Ricciardo, Raikkonen and Sainz ran out the top 10. And then further down towards the bottom of the table, George Russell, the only retirement of the Grand Prix in the Williams. In terms of what that race is going to mean for the standings going into the final race at Abu Dhabi, the Drivers' Championship, we retake second place from Sebastian Vettel, and there's 1 point that splits us going into the finale in the battle for the runner-up position. Hamilton extends his lead, and in terms of the Constructors, Mercedes, unfortunately for us, have extended their gap to 14 points going into the last race, which makes it very difficult for myself and Sebastian to try and claw that back. But we do have some R&D points to spend, so we're going to give it one last go and throw everything at it and hope the upgrades arrive in Abu Dhabi and there's no issues. So let's jump into the laptop and let's try and improve this car and see how many upgrades we can put on for the last race in Abu Dhabi in a bid to try and overturn the deficit and win the Constructors' Championship.
A close finish after a tense battle with your old F2 rival. He's putting up quite a fight, isn't he? You had a pretty close finish with Lucas. What's it like racing a former teammate? Did you feel comfortable in the wet weather today? Did you have the wrong fuel strategy today, or was it your management? Great, well that's everything.
Okay, so here we are then on the R&D tree, and we're going to try and do some upgrades because Red Bull and Mercedes have pushed on and we're not responding. So there's lots of options. We could go different places, but I've made my decision, and the chassis is somewhere I want to push on with. So first of all, we're going to get the failed upgrade we should have had in the last episode, which was for the chassis weight reduction. So we're going to get that on the car for Abu Dhabi. We still have pretty much 1,300 points to spend, and I think we could probably afford one of these two, rather go tyre wear or we go weight redistribution. Now the problem is, it's very awkward because the car needs to be way more efficient in terms of fuel and also tyres, but I need performance, so it's very, very tricky in terms of what to select in terms of upgrading, and I'm still not quite sure, but I'm going to take a punt, and I'm going to try and go for something that we do need, and that is tyre wear, because it's been pretty poor lately. So we're going to get that on the car, and we still have 670 points. We're 2 points off getting this upgrade here, otherwise I would get it, And then elsewhere, can we go... Okay, we can do an aero one, actually, so we'll try and sneak one on, maybe. And we're going to go probably for just a drag reduction, I think, and get down the car as well for Abu Dhabi. So that should boost us back up above Mercedes and very close to Red Bull, and hopefully that triple upgrade will give us the push we need to try and fight for the Constructors Championship in the season finale in Abu Dhabi, and fingers crossed that will be enough. But with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for this episode of my F1 2019 Career Mode. If you did enjoy it, drop a like, and also get subscribed if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and turn on notifications to not miss a video from me, and finally check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one very soon, but until then, it's goodbye from me.